Something about me is that I love Christmas. And I'm not even from a Christian family per se, but I really love Christmas. And I always love to watch those movies and television shows with these beautiful family scenes of Christmas, and everybody gets along and everybody has a lovely time. But at my house, Christmas was so stressful because it was all about cooking. And then the cleaning, and then the ripping of the gifts, and then the packing up of the gifts, and then cleaning up after all of that stuff, and then leaving. And I just had this thought that it should be better. It should be like television. It should be like the movies. And so I remember when I was 17, I tried to change how we did Christmas. I was trying to figure out how to make it like the movies, but everybody was really stressed out by my trying to calm things down. When I was 20, I moved to Vancouver, and I went to someone else's house for Christmas, and they actually had that kind of Christmas. It was really calm. Dinner wasn't rushed. They didn't worry about the dishes before opening the gifts. It was so lovely. And I thought, see, it can happen. It can happen for my family too. So when I went back to visit my family, I was like, hey, you know what, guys? We can actually do this. We can have a really calm Christmas. And I put some work and effort into trying to have this picture-perfect Christmas. But what I realized after a couple of Christmases trying to do this was that I was putting something on my family that just didn't work. What really worked for my family was cooking, eating, ripping the gifts, cleaning the stuff, and going home. That's what worked for my family. So I was the one that was causing all this stress. So the reason I wanted to talk to you about that today is because there's a difference in this case of being love and seeking love. Being love and seeking love. So I've learned to be love with my family. So I know that my family needs to do this process, that this is just how it's done, and I can't put a cookie cutter different version of Christmas on them. It's not fair to them. And before, what I was doing was I was actually seeking love. I was seeking a different way. I was trying to get people to do things in a calmer way that worked better for me. This is something that we're always doing in our lives. We're always either being love or seeking love. Being love or seeking love. One thing that I always talk to my nephew about, I used to take my nephew every other weekend or so, and I would take him and we would go and do really fun things, and I would often have him for the whole weekend. But sometimes on Sunday, I'd have to bring him back early because he didn't do his homework, as an example, or he had to get something done. So I had this little thing that I would say to him, that life is about having a good time. So sometimes when we're living life, the good time that we're actually having is that we have to get the thing done, like homework, so that we can ensure we have more good time later. So what I was actually actively teaching him was to be love rather than seeking love, in that he wanted to get away with the stuff and just run amok and all that stuff. And so I was teaching him this lesson between being love and seeking love without really realizing it. That life is about, but the main lesson, the main comment to him was, life is about having a good time. And sometimes we still have to do our homework. And then we can still have a good time. If we resist it, if we struggle with it, then we don't have a good time. We have to cut things short, and I would have to bring him back early on Sunday, and there would be, kids, right? There'd be a little drama about coming back early. He wanted to stay with Auntie Tammy. He didn't want to do his homework, but if he'd done it before I picked him up, we would be in good shape. So life is about having a good time. He's really taken on this lesson, and in fact, now that he's 19, I heard him telling one of his friends, hey guy, life is about having a good time. Choose the least of the worst, and then we can get on with having a good time. So it was really good for me to see that I'd actually taught my nephew this amazing lesson. All of us have something going on in our lives that we have to surpass or overcome. And so So the demonstration of my nephew is really about what is your homework? What is the thing that you're resisting? So today we have a lovely couple of women who are going to be doing some working out with us. And some of us, like myself, I have a disability, so I can't do the running, can't do all the leg work because of my leg. But I can still do the workout. And the workout is good for me. And I know that the workout is good for me. And so I do the thing that's the best, having a good time. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. It's all about not making that Christmas so dramatic. Oh my gosh, the Christmas was crazy with me trying to be calm and me trying to be at ease with everything. And then meanwhile, my family just needed to do this. Like the last Christmas I had, I decided I'll have it at my house so that I can control it, so that I can put it all together myself. And this is so me trying to seek love, because I was trying to make it all happen. Well, still, my family came in like a whirling tornado, and the thing still happened. It still happened the way it always happens. And so I realized I just have to let them do their jobs, let them do their thing. And that's how they're being loved. That even though it felt like stress to me, even though it felt like a crazy whirling dervish, it actually feels good to them. It actually feels really good to my mom if the dishes are all done. If we go into the living room and we open the gifts and the dishes aren't done, she has this feeling, she gets all stressed out. And so I realized, okay, well, we just have to get the dishes done. We just have to let her do it. And we just have to participate in getting it done, and as quickly as possible, so that we can do the gifts. And then once the gifts are, then we're ripping the gifts, ripping and ripping and ripping, which was really fun when I was a kid, but not so much fun when I was older, because I don't see people opening the gift for me. That was the thing, right? I want to see your face when I give you the gift. But in my family, you miss the face. It's like you might hear like a yell from across the room, "Hey, thanks for the toaster." And you see a hand waving. And so I would miss that. But now I realize that that's what they needed to do. Like when my family sees a gift, they rip and rip and rip. They rip that box open. If you see me opening a gift, when I open a gift, like I can rewrap any gift with that paper. Does anybody know what I mean? I see heads nodding. Like I have all the little ribbons are here. My little paper, there's some rippers out here, and there's some rewrappers. Yeah, so I can rewrap with the paper. It's all folded nicely. But like at my mom's house on Christmas Day, there's a huge mountain. It's like an environmental disaster has occurred of all this paper and tissue, and everything's ripped up. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I was seeking love, I wanted to change that. But when I'm being love, then I don't want to change my people. I just I accept them how they are. I just accept it. It's interesting to see the kids in my family as they're growing up in this. And I noticed that my niece, I have one niece who's just like me. So all the ribbons are all, all laid out, all the papers folded really nicely, and all around her and I is total chaos, a ripped paper, and there's a big bag, everything's going in. We're like, that paper was so pretty, but why don't we save it? But meanwhile, it seems to like skip, like one person in every generation has this little thing. And when she described feeling frustrated because she wanted to keep this ribbon or that ribbon, I said, you know what, this is just us being loved. We have to let them be how they are, and we're going to be how we are. Thank you. Do I need to say my name or anything? No. Okay. Thank you so much. It's so lovely to see your faces and to see you so engaged. Thank you for listening to my speech.